Hello and welcome to another edition of the Fairway Finders Golf YouTube channel. Today we are coming at you with something a little bit different. We've got our 5 top tips out on the course to save you shots. So in the video we're going to have some tee shots helping you out, course management off the tee. We're going to tell you how to get out of trouble, hopefully in one shot only. We're also going to be assessing lies in the rough, really important to see how that golf ball comes out. Then some short game and finally some putting as well. Hopefully these different kind of shots and tips are going to help you out when you're on the golf course to save shots in general. Remember, like, comment and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. We're a new channel, we're trying to build it. Comment below what you'd like to see in the future and if any of our tips have actually helped you.
Absolutely.
Right, let's do it.
Come on. Right, top tip number 1 is course management off the tee. Now with this, we need to think of a couple of things. 1, avoiding hazards. 2, playing to the correct side of the fairway. And 3, playing with the shot shape that you have. Right, so the first hole here at Congleton Golf Club, we've got 4 bunkers to avoid. The first 2 being 190 to carry, the second 2 being 230 to get to. So H is going to have to hit something that carries at least 200 and doesn't carry over 210. That's going to make sure we get over the first set of bunkers and leave us short of the next set of bunkers, leaving us only a little bit of a flick in, around 60-70 yards into the flag. So what are you going with, mate?
I'm going with 5 iron.
Going with 5 iron?
Yeah, carry that about 200 yards.
Right, okay.
Luckily for me, this hole goes a little bit left to right and I like to fade it a little bit. So I'm going to try and aim a little bit left half of the fairway to actually allow for that shape there.
Right, so with playing to the shape that you hit, if you do hit a little bit of a slicing number off the tee, make sure to aim a little bit more down the left-hand side. If you're going to aim down the middle and then 9 times out of 10 you're going to slice it, every single time that's going to play it over to the right-hand side and you're going to goose yourself before you've even started. Play with the shot shape that you've got and that's going to make sure you can hit more fairways. Final point now is playing to the correct side of the fairway. Now, the danger on this hole is to the right-hand side. That should automatically make us go to the left, which in this case it definitely does, because the pin is also tucked front right of this green. So the best angling is going to be from the left-hand side. Me personally, I think H as well, we'd rather just be in the left-hand side rough than be on the right-hand side fairway in this case. Yeah. Because a 60-70 yard pitch in to a pin that's protected by a bunker on the front right-hand side of the green is a much harder shot than playing it even slightly further away in the rough with a great angle into the pin. So,
let's hit the shot.
Let's hit the shot then, mate.
Right,
let's go for it.
So I'm aiming up the left-hand centre. Little practice swing, feeling what I need to do in the shot. Another tip as well, I'm always trying to build my setup around the club face. So I'm setting the club face on my target and then building my stance.
Great shot.
A bit like that too.
Perfect. Favourite left-hand side.
Oh,
straight in between the 2 bunkers.
A little wedge in.
Happy days. Right, on to tip 2.
On to tip 2. Right, top tip number 2 is how to get out of trouble first time, every time. Now we're in a situation where the ball is under a canopy of trees. We've got to punch our way back onto the fairway. So many times out on the course when me and Tom are playing with amateurs, we'll see everyone trying to hit the Sevy shot, trying to bend it round trees, hit it through tiny gaps. You're only going to lose shots doing that. So the aim of the game is just knock it back in play and then you can get it on the green with your next shot. Don't compound the error. First things first, tee, is club selection, right? We want an appropriate amount of loft on the club. We don't want anything with too little loft because we're going to be with the ball position. It's just going to come out too low. We might not get over the rough. Yeah. Conversely, too much loft, we're going to clatter into the trees and we're back where we started. Okay?
Absolutely.
So talk me through what club selection have you gone for?
I've gone 7 iron. And I have to pick this club because of the technique.
Exactly. Right. So now let's talk about setup. With this, we're trying to take a bit of loft off the club. The easiest way to do that is just put the ball a tiny bit further back in your stance, okay? So we're going to do that. Ball's a little bit back in the stance. We want to favour the weight on the left side. Try and get 70% of your weight on your left side. And all you're trying to do with this shot is hit ball first, and you're going to basically chip it out there. Just think of a little chip shot, hip to hip, chip it out there, keep it nice and low, little abbreviated finish. Let's see it, T. Get yourself back in play. Perfect. So you've carried all the rough because we've had enough loft. you've kept it low, it's rolled out there, we're back in play, we can wedge it on and make par.
Easy peasy.
Good stuff.
Right, tip number 3 is assessing the lie in the rough. Now, as you can see here, these are 2 different lies that you're going to find out on the golf course. The one on the right being a ball that's sat up nice and pretty, and the one on the left being one that's sat down. Now, you're going to have to treat these 2 a little bit differently. Right, first one, mate.
Right, sat down in the rough, that's just horrific, isn't it?
Absolutely horrendous.
So I'd be kicking that out if I was on course.
Oh yeah, little foot wedge, mate.
Little
Yeah.
foot wedge.
We're going to have to get a little bit steeper into this because we need to get the small ball before the big ball. So, i.e., let's get to the golf ball before the big ball, the earth.
Yeah.
So, what I want you to do is, mate, I'm going to want you to slide it a little bit further back in your stance.
Yep.
That's going to let you get a little bit steeper into the back of it.
Yep.
Now, this might come out a little bit lower.
Okay.
So you're going to have to adjust that into your distance control. So we've got 95 yards here. What club have you got?
I've got 54.
54, and how far would that normally go?
So normally that is like a 100-yard shot.
100-yard shot. Should be
So I'm
taking a
gonna
little
have to
bit
take
off
it off.
anyway.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to have to take a tiny little bit more off because it's going to fly a little bit lower. It might have a little bit of a skid and a little bit of a run to it. So let's see it, mate. If you set up for me there.
Yeah, ball's back, weights forward, and I'm just going to try and almost stab it out of there. It's probably going to be quite a large divot. Greenkeepers will be happy.
Lovely. Superb. Oh, yes,
On the
lovely.
green.
Great
That'll
shot,
work.
mate.
Ooh.
So yes, quite a little bit of a hefty divot there, but
We're out,
needed in this scenario.
Yeah, we are out.
Right, okay. Shot number 2. Right, H, so lie number 2. Now this
Let's see what
baby's
this.
sat up nice and pretty, isn't she?
Very nice.
She's
yeah.
on a little bit of a tee, this one.
Mm.
Right, so what I'm going to want you to do with this is, mate, there's not going to be much change to a normal shot ball position wise.
Okay.
This is more about how you think of delivering the club height wise. So on the last shot, you got quite steep into it. This one, I want you to feel as if you're almost clipping it off the surface. Like I said before, very easy with this shot to get down, diggy underneath it, catches high off the face, pops itself up with little ball speed and comes up way short.
Yeah.
So I want you to feel, and especially with your practice swings on this one, this is where it's key for this shot.
Yep.
I want you to feel as if you're just brushing the tops of the grass.
Just the top ball position more in the centre, and then just like trying to pick it off the grass.
Exactly, that's that feedback
Pick it
from a
off the top.
practice swing that we need for this shot. Lovely. Higher ball flight, comes
Landing
down nice
softer.
and soft.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
That'll work.
Very different divots,
Very
two
different,
very
yeah.
different shots, even though they're only 6 inches apart from each other. But very important on the golf course, assessing the lie in the rough.
Definitely. Right, okay, so tip 4 is going to be using a bit of imagination around the greens, and it's more about picking the correct club for the actual shot that you've got in front of you. So, big thing that I like to always kind of press home to my students is you want to land the ball on the green as much as possible. You don't want to land it short in the fringe because you can get dodgy bounces and all sorts of things. So we're always trying to land it on the green. So in this first scenario, Tom, he's about 5 feet off the green, so he doesn't have to carry it very far. What that means is that he can use a lower lofted club and get that ball running at the hole. Especially today, the greens are wet, they're moist, they're quite slow. So if we can get that ball rolling towards the hole, a bit like a putt, it's going to be a lot easier to control that distance, yeah, too.
Absolutely, mate.
Right, let's see it. So you've got 8 iron,
8 iron.
yeah, low loft. All you've got to do, it's like hitting a big putt, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Feet close together, brush the back of the club along the floor, and all you've got to do, you've got to land it, what, a yard on, 2 yards on?
Yeah, something like
Keep
that.
it
Yeah.
low, get it rolling out to the flag.
Yeah.
All right, let's see it. Perfect. So it's skidded out a little bit there, it's rolled up. It's a gimme, it's a kick in.
Easy peasy, mate.
Well done.
Easy peasy. But there's another version of this, isn't there?
There is.
Right, okay.
So next one is going to be what we do when we're a bit further back.
Further back.
Right, we'll press play this time.
Press play, mate. Good thing I didn't hold that chip shot then.
6 foot past.
It was.
Right, okay, so scenario 2, Tom's got 8 or 9 yards of fairway and rough and a bit of mud, frankly, as well to get over. So if we were going to hit the 8 iron and still try and hit the green, the ball's going to come in way too hot, way too flat, and we're not going to have enough control over the golf ball when it hits the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose a higher lofted club so that when the ball does hit the green, we're going to be able to get over what we've got in front of us, and then when the ball hits the green, it's going to have a steeper landing angle, which means it's going to stop a little bit quicker. Okay, so what club have you gone for?
I've gone 58, mate.
Nice.
Like a bit of loft around the green, mate.
Yeah, good. So talk me through how you're going to play the shot. The same as before or anything different?
I'm going to play it exactly the same, mate. The only thing that's changed is the club.
Perfect. And I think before you hit the shot, that's an important thing to actually note is when you're trying to hit it higher and lower, you don't need to change your technique. Keep everything nice and neutral. Keep the same technique, but just choose a higher or lower lofted club. Keep Absolutely. It simple. Yeah? Right, let's see the shot team.
Right, come on then. So I'm going to try and land it just over halfway from the green and the flag, not halfway from the actual shot itself.
Yep.
Might get a little bit skiddy.
Yep. Good shot.
A little bit like that.
Another kick in par.
Right, mate. Tip number 5, and this is a biggie. This is a biggie. Now, you're going to hear me and Harrison talk about this so much on our channel, but for me, it's one of the most important things in golf.
100%.
It's absolutely pointless hitting 2-3 great shots getting to the green and then absolutely making a pig's ear of it when you get here. So, tip number 5 is pace is king. Right, so what do I mean by pace is king? I mean that you've got to get the ball on the correct distance for the pin. Now, I understand the old saying, never up, never in. That's very, very true. However, 6 foot past and never in as well.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, you want to be knocking it around a foot to a 1.5 foot max past the hole. Now, you can get a little bit more aggressive the closer you get, but from this distance where I've put H in, we're 45 feet away.
Yeah.
Now, it'd be nice to hold this putt, but even for the big boys out on tour, on the DP World Tour, the chance of them making this is probably less than 5%.
About 2%.
Yeah. So we've got to make sure that our next shot is an absolute kick-in.
So first things first, I would walk it to feel if it's uphill or downhill.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's definitely going a bit further back up at the end. It's wet, it's winter, they're pretty slow, aren't they? So we've got to give it a little bit, and I'm just trying to visualise this ball resting a foot and a half past the hole.
Because even if you slightly under hit it or miss hit it, at least it's still got a little bit of a chance.
Exactly.
And you're definitely not going to miss that second one.
Pace is king.
People are going to think we've took so many takes to get that.
That was one take.
One take.
Right, so there you have it. 5 top tips on course to help you save shots. We've got course management off the tee. We've got how to get out of trouble and stay out of trouble. We've got assessing the lie in the rough, whether it's sat down, sat up, how it's going to react, how to set up. We've got what club to use around the greens, depending on how much green you've got to work with, how much fringe you've got to go over. And then we've got pace is king, which we've just proved it is. Perfect pace, all the putt.
45 feet as well.
45.
First
2%,
take.
Yeah, first take.
First take.
2% chance on tour, so that's 1 out of 1. So I'm statistically the best putter in the world.
You're basically on tour.
May as well.
Yeah.
Right, see you in the next video.